Yeah, but A.J. Brown, you're the one that's making Philly.
Yeah.
It works for you. It suits you. The Bills and the Eagles are both now 2-0. So we look back now at the entire slate of games. It was a ridiculous Sunday. We all enjoyed it. Monday night, the good teams played great. Let's just leave it at that. But who showed us the most in week 2? There was a whole pile of teams to pick from.
Yeah, we love to talk about them in the offseason, in the preseason. I'm going with the Dallas Cowboys. They showed me the most in week 2. Lost the face of the franchise in Dak Prescott. Michael Gallup's not playing. They lost Tyron Smith. He's not playing. He's due to injury. And we all said the Cowboys are through. And they came out in week 2, and they beat the defending AFC champs. And a lot of it, Micah Parsons and that defense. Micah Parsons has 4 sacks already through 2 weeks, and that doesn't even add all the pressure, QB hits, and everything that he has done for this defense. Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush.
Talk about Cooper Rush.
We sat here last week, we're like, Cooper Rush? Like, who is this guy? Is there another starter in the NFL that's undefeated and their career starts? Right now, Cooper Rush is out there. Look at him. They're fired up, getting it done. Jerry Jones said, it's one of the greatest feelings I can remember in a long time. That's how he described the win in week 2, them beating the Cincinnati Bengals. For me, this Cowboy team, you see them celebrating on the sideline. They're fired up. Jerry's fired up. Find somebody to hug. It was a beautiful thing. The Cowboys, they were able to come victorious in week 2 after going through losing Dak in week 1. A nice way to respond.
It is a nice way. And here's a nice way for me to respond to you. I'm going to talk about defense. The most impressive defense in the NFL through 2 weeks has been the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm going to go with the Bucs. They wiped out the Cowboys, and that was including the Cowboys with Dak. They wiped out the Saints. Now, here's the thing. There's a lot of shiny objects with Tampa Bay right now. And it is Tom Brady and being all upset and all the mystery and intrigue with him. And there's photos of him where it's almost unsettling. I don't know if he looks well, and I mean that. Mike Evans is suspended. There's all these shiny objects. Don't look away from the prize, which is Devin White et al. Wrecking people on the field. Don't forget that the Super Bowl win was Devin White et al. Wrecking people on the field. They have the Packers this week. It is probably the biggest game of the week. Their defense has been awesome, like the best in the league. Pick sixes, sacks, everything. Despite all the stuff that is going on, and despite that Brady can't beat the Saints, they have such a terrible history in the Superdome. Suspensions, fights, everything. They're 2-0. They're cruising. Todd Bowles is animated on the sideline. I like what Tampa has going on in spite of it. Like, this too shall pass. They're going to get through some stuff right now. In the meantime, just what do we say all the time, Peter? Just stack wins. Stack wins, play defense. You'll get where you need to be. The Bucs, for me, after 2 weeks, look good.
That was 2 wins on the road in very hostile environments. And they got wins.
Yep.
I think you said the Cowboys had a turbulent offseason, or a team we talked about. I think no team had a more turbulent offseason than the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah.
And, Hopkins is suspended, and Kyler has his issues with the contract. And they lose 47-7 in week 1.
Oh, man.
And then they're down 20-0. That's 67-7.
Yeah, it was.
And I think this might have been a season-saving comeback for the Arizona Cardinals. I learned a lot about what that locker room has going on and what Kyler Murray is capable of. This is the Kyler Murray you spend all the money on. It's like, you know, they write up plays in the dirt and go figure it out, Kyler. An incredible comeback from 20 points down. He never quit. He always had an answer, and it felt like the Raiders just weren't even on the field in the second half and overtime because the Cardinals possessed the ball the entire time. Kyler Murray takes his team back from 20-0 on the road in a game that everyone was firing the head coach online and saying that they can hopefully get out of this contract somehow prematurely because he doesn't have it. The Cardinals are 1-1, just like the 49ers are, just like the Rams are, just like the Seahawks are, and Kyler Murray may have had as impressive a performance as any quarterback in the league in week 2, and that includes Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, Tua Tagovailoa, and all the rest. I cannot say enough about the heart and the unity that team had in the second half after everyone had already written them off 3 halves into their season. The Cardinals are alive. They might not be alive and well, but they are alive right now, and that is a testament to Kyler Murray and that comeback that they had.
Alive and well in the AFC South would be the Jacksonville Jaguars. My goodness. They got to win. They got to win. They got a shutout. They shut out the Colts at home 24-0, and a well-rounded win last night would be considered the Bills. They looked great. The Eagles, well-rounded. And the Jaguars, every facet of the game for the Jacksonville Jaguars looked tremendous against the Colts. Trevor Lawrence completed 83% of his passes. He found Christian Kirk twice. But the defense, that other Josh Allen in the league, the one that's not ranked 13th in the top 100, the rookies, Devin Lloyd and Trayvon Walker, they were all over the field. They picked off Matt Ryan 3 times. Jonathan Taylor, some would call him an MVP caliber running back. I don't know who those people are. Held to 54 yards in this game. This is an offense that is supposed to be an AFC contender, and they held them scoreless. I always find it fascinating when a team is unable to put points on the board. You get down to the 7-yard line, the 9, put it through the uprights, put 3 on the board.
Can't get shut out at the professional level.
You cannot get shut out at a professional level.
Can't do that.
The Jacksonville Jaguars, but to circle back to Trevor Lawrence, I think he looked comfortable and confident. It's almost like he's well coached. I don't know. I think Doug Peterson is such a fit, and he knew Frank Reich. He knows what Frank Reich is going to bring to the table. Doug Peterson was all over this game. The Jaguars look good, and this isn't like a surprise, congratulations, but it's only week 2. Like, no, if the Jaguars keep playing like this, they have a real legitimate shot to win this division.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Jacksonville Jaguars, week 2.
I love it. I think it's awesome. It's the strangest division by far, including what happened with the Titans last night. Jags. Have a day. Look out.
Have a day. Have a day. Exactly. All right. Our NFL Network.
Made my house up in Westchester. It's great. Let's just talk about the Steelers.
Let's do it. Back to Pittsburgh, where the Steelers lost to the Patriots week 2. Head coach Mike Tomlin said it's up to more people than just the quarterbacks to put points on the board.
You know, we hadn't scored enough points here the last couple of weeks, but that's a collective, not just the quarterback position, not just the players. It's all of us are responsible for ringing up the scoreboard, and so we don't seek comfort. We don't try to quell the noise. To be quite honest with you, we don't care about the noise. We're just working on the things that are within our control, to have good days, to continue the progression of this group from a developmental standpoint, and knowing that the outcome is going to be what we desire.
Okay, so Kenny Pickett, we heard it in the stadium, but whether or not Mitch Trubisky hears it, Mike Tomlin hears it, is a different question, and where the Steelers go with their offense, because it looks stagnant in week 2. They haven't been able to provide any spark. So what is the answer here?
Yeah, you know, it's interesting because they asked Tomlin, you know, were you happy with the play calling, which is like, we know that things didn't go well. And he says, I think, you know, I'd be lying if anyone here said we're happy with how things looked in week 2. But I don't see Pickett coming in week 3 just yet. I feel like this Trubisky decision was made in the summer. He has earned that job, and they're not going to bail on him the first second things get rocky. This might be as much about Matt Canada, the play caller right now, as it is about Mitchell Trubisky and these guys getting together and figuring it out how to make it work. Huge week for Trubisky, though, week 3. You can't go in 3 different weeks and have the offense be anemic. They got the win in week 1. They had opportunities in week 2. Week 3 is going to be enormous, but I don't think it's Kenny Pickett week to start the week. That's how I feel reading the tea leaves and also from what I'm hearing. Sorry if that Steelers fan base that probably wants to see at least what Pickett can do. It might not be time yet. And I think Mike Tomlin's earned that trust from the fan base to at least make that decision when the decision's right.
Well, short week. Thursday night at Cleveland, like a quick turnaround. Yep. But look, I don't think it's going to be Mitch either. This is Mitch's last stand. Like, if you lose to the Browns and you go 1-2, like, I think that has to move on. You know, Mitch is always so tricky because he checks so many boxes. Is that he's really athletic and he's a really good teammate and he works hard and he always says the right things. And, like, those are all really important. There's this box, though, at the bottom of the list where you have to play really well in the games. And, like, that is very important. And I just always say, like, when someone tells you who they are, listen to them. Mitch has told us who he is for years. He is a pretty decent guy who can have flashes of really good and then flashes of bad. And, like, I'm ready. Like, the short week thing changes it. I wouldn't start Kenny Pickett now, but I'm ready for Pickett. I have been since the preseason. I thought he looked the part. I think we go way back with Mitch Trubisky. We know what he is, and we definitely know what he isn't. And it's nothing personal, but I would like to start Pickett as soon as it's reasonable. I would. There
was that ridiculous stat you came up with, and I don't want you to...
I can't wait.
It was you came up with it. It was like over the last 50 years...
oh, yeah.
There was a pass attempt minimum that it had to reach. It was a great amount of quarterbacks that hadn't thrown an interception.
Mitch has never thrown a pick six in his career.
Six in his career.
Yeah, Peter, you hated it.
I didn't like it because it's like, all right, this guy's never given up a 3-run homer. Like, a pick six is one thing. He's thrown a lot of interceptions.
Yeah. No pick six.
But the really bad interceptions are the pick sixes. It's the worst thing you can do as a quarterback.
But you can't hang your hat on in your offense on somebody who just doesn't make the worst mistake. I don't think that does not an offense make.
Yeah, I agree.
And this week, I would say to make it black and white, Trubisky, you have this week to stake your claim on this position, because if it is going to become the Kenny Pickett experience, you want to give him 9 days to prepare for the Jets, because October is an absolute gauntlet for the Steelers. They got to play the Bills, the Bucks, and the Dolphins. Wow. And if the Dolphins are anything like they showed us in the first 2 weeks on both sides of the ball, the Steelers need something, and they needed to start going well. So this is it. Last week, I think, for Mitch Trubisky.
Well, that's tough, too, because now do you want to throw the rookie into the middle of the gauntlet? And I'll kind of hit back on what Peter said. Watching this Steelers offense, and you talk about Matt Canada, they're not even attempting to throw the ball down the field. So it's just like, yeah, we can all blame Mitch, and Mitch hasn't made the big mistake. Yes, the Steelers defense played out of their mind in week 1, so they were able to get the win. They haven't put up any points. They're not doing a ton on the offensive side of the ball, but you can't just take the ball and hand it off to Najee Harris every time. Their offensive line is not good enough to know that, hey, they're going to run the ball, and we're just going to line up and run over you. They don't have that type of offensive line. To me, they have to find ways to get the ball on the outside, whether it's wide receiver.
3 good wide receivers.
So much talent.
Deontay, Claypool, Pickens.
Yes.
They're not doing anything.
Not doing anything.
They made some individual great plays, but like,
one-on-one coverage on the outside, you have to give them opportunities and throw the ball up. Design plays to get the ball into your playmakers' hands. We can't all just blame Mitch, though.
I'm missing this, that we're going around the table. What is the case that, like, it has to be Mitch? Like, what is it so compelling about Trubisky that we're staying with him? Does anybody have, like, no, here's why. I know he's a veteran and the guy's a rookie, but that doesn't do a lot for me.
No, I think it's because of the short week. I really do think that like, you can't do that to Pickett going into this week. But against the Jets next week, he has nine days to prepare for that. The team might have 9 days. That's why this is it. I'm not sure there's much he could do to really change people's minds, but a decision has to be made, I think, especially considering Najee Harris. He's shown us some great stuff, but you can't just ride him. You know, people are going to just start loading the box on him.
Well,
it's not going to go well.
They're not going to score any points, then put the rookie in. If it's going to be the same, put the rookie in. But they decided to go with Mitch for a reason. So I can't just place all the blame on the stagnant offense on Mitch.
Need a spark. Need a spark. Win this week and Mitch play well, and it's your job.
Absolutely.
Go for it. You know, it's play well and it's your job.
All right, coming up, speaking of sparks,